Hey, yeah, we the same brothers from a long time ago. We was talking about television and doing it on the radio. What we did was to help our generation realize they got to get out there and get busy because it wasn't going to be televised. We got respect for you around us and the way they freeway here. But if you're going to be teaching folks things, be sure you know what you're saying. Older folks in our neighborhood got plenty to know.
The late, great Gil Scott-Heron. Message to the Messengers. The same artist and poet, prolific poet, that wrote and performed The Revolution Will Be Live. It will not be televised. And I just thought that was fitting, an intro for what I got to say. Because I remember coming up and even not too long ago in the past 10, 20 years that you hear so many people after watching Roots and 12 Years of a Slave, Django, Harriet Tubman movies. They said they couldn't live back in those days because there's no way that they could be a slave, that they would not do what they were told, that they would just basically say that they would have to kill them before they did it. And so now here we are in 2020, 2021, 2022, and we've had some very major events that have taken place. And we've been able to see that some of the people who said those things, it doesn't look like they really were true to that they really meant that. Because we see some people that want to remain on the sidelines, that want to plead the fifth, not say a thing, not do anything, not stand up for injustices. And so I just want to come and speak about something right now with this current situation with the NBA player. And I'm not going to say his name because you all know his name, or you should. I just don't want the algorithms to catch the name and figure out what I'm speaking about and try to go ahead and push this video further down into the timeline. Okay? But because he posted a link to a movie on Twitter. Now, if you've been keeping up with it, this player has been suspended and given a list of things that he must do before he can return to play on a team that he plays for. Now, the narrative that's being spun is what I want to speak about, because they're saying that he is promoting something that is subversive to another group of people. Okay, they use another name. I'm not going to say that either because I don't want this video to get flagged. And again, further down into the timeline. Okay, you know what it is. However, they've never said the name of the documentary. They never said the name of the book. And they never said what this young man was supposedly had said. They are just spinning this narrative that he has said something that is subversive to a certain people group. Okay? Now, what prompted me to make this video is because they have pushed the envelope even further, because they're calling the documentary, the video, the book, they're saying that it promotes hate speech and could perpetuate violence from one people group to another people group. That's a dangerous, slippery slope to be communicating that type of information. Now, if this doesn't bother you, if this doesn't concern you, that is what concerns me. Because when these type of narratives are promoted and pushed out there, do you know what this can create? What kind of agendas can be set? What kind of laws actually that can be established and made because of, I won't even say what's perceived, the lie that is actually being told, that this is actually promoting hate speech that can further perpetuate hate crimes. When this is supposed to be America, and the First Amendment provides us with the freedom of speech. But obviously, we see that the freedom of speech, the Amendment number 1, does not pertain to a certain people group. It only applies to other people groups. But when other people groups want to use it, in, I would say in a positive way, to discover or to promote information that may help them to discover who that they really are, then there's a problem. But their speech, the hate speech, doesn't seem to be a problem when this said group of people who own most of the networks and own most of the record companies that produce some of the most derogatory movies and music that we've ever seen and that we've ever heard, that we can call each other out of our names, that we can degrade our women, that we can use such foul language in this music, and it's promoted, and we don't even bat an eyelash at it, that it's doing damage to our community, and neither do they. They help us sell more of it, but that's not a problem. But the moment that we come in with something that's challenging to what we have been made to believe of ourselves, that we're the lowest of the people in the place of the earth, when we want to challenge that, when we want to change that narrative, when we want to change that perspective and that look and that outlook and that image of ourselves, then everyone is up in an uproar. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to jump on here, and I wanted to ask you if you were aware of this, the implications in the lies that are being propagated and that are being so exaggerated about this, when there's so much other material, books, DVDs, movies, articles, that people can say just about anything and no one says anything. Now, because someone is promoting, not even promoting, has written something, has produced a product, which there are plenty of other products out there along these lines, okay? Is, along these lines, this hasn't caused this much uproar until this situation. And I just want to bring that to your attention. If it's already to your attention, which I know it is, I just want to remind you, and I just want to, encourage us to really, really think of how much damage it can actually do. Not to anyone that was so-called offended. I'm talking about to suppressing people, another people group, from looking into their historical information to find out their true identity of who they are. That's why this thing is taking on the feet and the indignation that it is, because that should cause an alarm. If the derogatory music and the derogatory movies didn't cause you to say, hey, I'm concerned about that. I'm offended that we can put out this type of information about these people and degrade them like that, and nobody seems to have a problem. But now, when of their own free will, they want to look into some information that's going to help them discover who they are, or even just weigh it out, just weigh the information out. And that's what critical thinking is all about. Which I don't think any of those people who have really just pushed this envelope across the table, I don't even think that they've read the book. I don't think that they've looked at the DVD because, like I said, they have not stated what information was actually offensive. What information is actually so-called promoting hate speech. I would think that you would communicate that information. What line, what paragraph, what chapter. Okay? So I just want to leave you with that, and hopefully you can draw your own conclusion. Okay? God bless you. Until the next message.